Good morning, everyone. We will give everyone a moment to join us and roll into our webinar today on International Women's Week. I'm going to pull up my chat box. Let me just here. There we go. Oh, good morning, Sophia. Let everyone jump in and then we will get started. Give everyone one more minute. Such an exciting time. We were just saying it is not only the holiday season when International Women's Week begins and the planning kicks off. I think it's one of the most exciting times for us at Invest Ottawa, certainly, and as a community.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really is. Jess, I see we have 36 participants. I'm going to give one more minute. We had over 100, I think, that were registered. So we'll just give everyone a little bit of time. Love to see the engagement on the chat. So for those of you who are joining us, we would love your comments, your questions, any insights you'd like to share with our community. We are all champions and allies coming together for International Women's Week, and we could not be more thrilled to see the level of engagement and interest that our information session today has generated. I'm going to make sure that I am good to go on the presentation. Oh, do you know what? Let me go back. Technical things are never, ever good for me. There we go. All right. Thank you to Katie, who is going to manage our chat for the first half of today's presentation. And then we are going to switch and I will manage our chat box while she carries forward with our presentation. Let me open up with a huge, tremendous thank you for joining us today. International Women's Week is really something very special for our team and for us at Invest Ottawa and for our community. And it is attributed to all of you, to the champions, the allies, those who have come forward to really take hold of our goals and our target outcomes and drive forward together with us in a collaborative way to empower, equip, and inspire more women leaders across every single sector, not just in our city, but across Canada and around the world. We are a role model and we will amplify that role going forward into 2021. No pandemic can stop us. And we're here today to set the stage for all of the great things that we know we will do together in the year ahead. On our agenda today, and it really is intended to be a little bit informal. There's so many friends and colleagues. We work so closely with so many who are joining us. We are recording today's session so that we can use this as a resource for others across the community that we want to pull into International Women's Week. The more champions and allies we have, the better, the faster we work together to move that dial and have a greater impact as a community. So we do invite your questions along the way through the chat box, and certainly this is the first of several sessions to come. We're going to walk through our purpose today, which is really just to provide an overview of what to expect, what our goals and outcomes are as a community, and we've really developed those together with many of you that are on the call today. What's coming up in terms of resources and support that will be available to you and all champions, allies, and organizations that engage going forward. We're really excited. Our team has been hard at work on some new assets, branding, and look and feel. So we're going to unveil some of that look and feel to you today with lots more to come in the new year. And then talking a little bit about the opportunities for you as individuals, teams, and organizations to come and contribute to International Women's Week going forward. Let me see if I know how to advance these slides. I know that there's often a delay, but it looks like I am stuck, Miss Jessica. It will not move forward. There we go. Maybe Jess will help me. As you all know, on March 8th, a very special day on planet Earth, the world celebrates the economic, social, and cultural and political achievements of women around the world. We sat back and thought, goodness, why in the world would we all try and race and host competing events on a single day when we can join forces with those here in our community and many other jurisdictions and create an entire week of integrated content dedicated to these important goals. And year over year, this was an endeavor we launched, I think, in 2019. It was really grassroots. And, you know, all of a sudden we had 22 partner organizations coming together to say, yes, we would love to support these goals. How can we help? And it's truly snowballed, I think, as Katie aptly described this morning, with a whole lot of promotion from those on this call and from so many others who champion these objectives, members across our local, national, and global community working together to create that series of events and initiatives that create opportunities, tangible opportunities for women leaders here in our community and other areas. And Jess, it looks like I am really struggling with moving the slides forward, so I'm going to invite you to take control back and move these forward with us. International Women's Week is really more than a set of activities, and for anyone who has been a part of the first two series of events, you certainly know it is a driver for long-term sustainable change. Our goal is to create a critical mass of top successful women leaders from every walk of life, all equity-seeking groups, who make a significant impact on our economy and our society. We know that the pandemic has had a detrimental impact on women. There are so many statistics that we hear about every single week on how that impact has gotten more significant and more detrimental month over month, the longer the pandemic persists. It's almost as though women leaders have been set back generations. This is something that clearly we must stop, that we need to work together on a community to really work this forward, to get back and to keep driving forward and creating more opportunities and impact for women leaders across society. And this demands a strategic and collaborative approach. And that's exactly what you have all come together with us to do today. We really believe Canada's capital can lead the world on this front. We have a responsibility and an obligation, and we are going to be very proactive in pulling in collaborators from many other jurisdictions this year, now that we are virtual. We are going to amplify our call for all regions and nations to join us and create that integrated wave of action that helps to move this critical dial. Next slide, please. International Women's Week 2021, Monday, March 1st to Tuesday, March 9th, 2021. We're looking for virtual and hybrid events and activities that help to keep our community healthy, protected, and safe. The vaccines are starting to roll forward. We could not be more grateful, but we have to be very diligent as a community, and we know that it will be many months to come as we move forward with our health authorities to find the right approach that enable us to keep everyone that we love and in our community safe and protected. So we will look forward to working with you on some very novel ideas, and with the help of our amazing event producer, who's gotten exceptionally adept at hosting many online events and coming forward with creative ideas with many across our community. We are very confident we can do that, and more importantly, increase our reach and our impact outside of Ottawa, showcasing Ottawa as a leader in this area. Next slide, please, Jess. So many of you will know that we here at Invest Ottawa focus on entrepreneurs and how we enable firms to grow, flourish, and thrive, create jobs, and have that economic impact across our region. International Women's Week is far more than just focused on entrepreneurships and industry. We really wanted this to be something that was all-encompassing, all sectors, government, industry, academia, research, media, not-for-profits. How can we equip, inspire, and empower women in all professional fields during this week and create a much broader set of activities, many of which that we are championing within our own organizations with the individual mandates that we're pursuing. Those that are here today are champions, not just in our community, but right inside their organizations, driving forward with resources, with commitments, and most importantly, action in support of these shared goals. There is so much more we can do together. International Women's Week is really the catalyst and a really big focal point for us raising the flag and showing the world what we are doing together and the power of our collective resources and initiatives to create that critical mass and build that foundation year over year for broader collaboration on shared goals. Next slide, please. Target outcomes and impact. Really, we know how important it is to raise the visibility of women leaders. Our goal is to create tangible new opportunities for women in leadership. There are many different types of opportunities that we pursue. In some cases, it's brokering new connections to identify mentors who can help set women on a great path for their future. In some cases, it might be job opportunities, opportunities for advancement. We're certainly keen on opportunities for investment. We know that's a massive dial that needs to move. Only 2% of women worldwide citywide in terms of founders accessing capital on this planet, something that is completely unacceptable. So there are many different opportunities. We want to see something tangible and have actions that lead to direct outcomes, both near-term outcomes and certainly longer-term outcomes. We know they are harder to track, but together as a community, we are confident that we can continually get better at tracking those long-term impacts as we go. Benefit and impact for aspiring and current women leaders. There are a host of incredibly talented women leaders that we have the privilege of collaborating with every single day on this call. There are also that next generation of up and coming women leaders that we have a responsibility to help equip and inspire and support in their journey so that we set our future up for success. Together, that's a really big goal and tangible outcome we want to achieve with you. Demonstrated action from new and existing champions and allies for women in leadership, a very big goal that Invest Ottawa has set, and it's one that our CEO, Michael Tremblay, speaks to often. We want to see men and women working together to move this dial and creating those opportunities. We cannot do it alone. We must do this in collaboration and not in isolation, and we are very, very committed to welcoming and finding new ways to engage men, allies in particular, across our community and around the world to support those goals. Next slide, please. Collaboration is key to success. So that's the entire foundation on which International Women's Week is built. And this is not an Invest Ottawa initiative. We are really proud to help spearhead and lead, but this is a community-driven initiative. This is grassroots and it is powerful and it is successful because of all of you and others who joined forces together with us to take action. Year one, we had 22 partners and I think maybe 30 events. Last year, we had 65 partners. We were blown away. It becomes very emotional for me because we feel so strongly about this goal. We could not believe the response that we received. 40 events last year, at least. That critical mass is essential to driving this forward. And we are so privileged and excited that you've all joined us here today to take action in that collaborative way. Next slide, please. Highlights of feedback. I'm certain that it's something that we're all very interested in. It's important to take stock in where our strengths are, what the learnings from our previous events were. And certainly we've had 2 years out now, year three, powerful number, and it's a great opportunity to learn from the past and build on those strengths that we can move forward on. Some of the feedback and the surveying that we have done in the last couple of years, strong regional collaboration. I think everyone was really empowered by the citywide cooperation that from my perspective was also unprecedented in my time and working at least in this role with Invest Ottawa. We want to continue to leverage that as a key strength within our region and certainly as a flagship to demonstrate with the world what can be done when a region comes together and coordinates those players and takes action in this way. The International Women's Week website and calendar. Certainly, this is something that we have continued to refine, and it's a role that we take on at Invest Ottawa to support our community. Having one location to promote all the different events that you will champion with your brand, with your mandate, and with your stakeholder community. When we pool all of that together, that critical mass of events and opportunities becomes very powerful. We're here to help make it as easy as possible and seamless as possible for you to join forces with us and promote your event, have channels out to new markets that will help you to be successful within your organization, within your event, but also contribute to something really powerful that's citywide, that then goes out nation and global wide. Broad engagement, we really enjoy and are so excited about the opportunity to pull in new audiences, organizations, and players. We saw a triple-fold increase in the number of partners from 2019 to 2020. I'm excited to see what we can do going into 2021. In a pandemic year, we recognize we're all working virtually. We see this as an opportunity. We see it as an opportunity to engage our friends out west, Jill Earthy and the Women's Entrepreneurship Center of BC, and my friend Kathy Hogan out east, who's leading a women's initiative in Oceans Advance, and to build up women leaders in the ocean industry. I think it's an opportunity for much more cross-pollination and to build on each other's strengths and to come together and create new ways to collaborate and support each other nationally and serve as an example for the world. Branding, increased profile of women and using effective imagery, hashtags, and other social media tools and assets that Katie will do a great job of providing an overview of to clearly articulate our collective messaging for women in leadership. And we'll walk through some of the attributes that help to underpin that brand and how we're going to showcase women right here in our community and the amazing women leaders that are driving forward on all of our shared goals. Diversity, inclusion, belonging, equity. Those are critical drivers and underpinnings to International Women's Week and to the mandates and goals that we have all established, so many of us on this call and so many others. How do we tangibly break down systemic barriers and create real opportunity for women from many different organizations, different sectors, and walks of life? You will see that as a very prominent theme as we go forward in our branding, in our messaging, and in all of the communications that we share and media activities we engage in 2021. Next slide, please. Other recommendations and highlights. There is a consistent momentum to continue building on the strong ecosystem interest and commitment to really empower and equip women leaders. How do we motivate as many individuals, teams, and organizations as possible? And more importantly, how do we carry this forward throughout the year? It takes resources and it takes ownership, and certainly something that we see so many organizations developing plans, strategies, and taking action on them. We think there's a great opportunity to continue coming together and looking more systemically across the entire city about how we pool all of the talented people and initiatives together, not just in a single week, but in something that takes place over the course of a year. And that's a big level of effort, and it's a big investment and a big part of our dream, something that we're still working through as a community. We've talked a lot about continuing to build support for women and men working together, consistently delivering compelling calls to action and opportunities to collaborate. We are looking at the introduction of some new tools for those who are engaged with us in International Women's Week to make it even easier for all of you to connect with each other and others in our community. And I'm not going to steal Katie's thunder on that. She'll chat with you about some of the ideas we have on that front. And maintaining the diversity, inclusion, and belonging as core to our guiding principles and helping to achieve greater impact on some really important goals we have all set. Moving forward to the next slide. Striving for greater impact. How do we look at what we have been through during this pandemic and the challenges that we face, that women across all sectors are facing, and have some very targeted goals, actions, and events and opportunities specific to address those challenges? That's one of our biggest calls to action for those who are engaging with us this year in International Women's Week. There is no greater time for that action and for focus. How can we engage in broader, more strategic ways, provincially, nationally, and globally? All of you will have many different ideas and opportunities that we can pursue. We want to hear from you. Invest Ottawa is here to help harness the power of all of those ideas and concepts and make sure that they get into the right hands so we can take action on them in a coordinated way. Looking at how we track some of the outcomes and impact. We did do some surveying last year, and certainly we want to learn from some of the initial steps we took and find even more impactful ways to survey, both individually as organizations and more importantly, collectively as a region. And that again will take some creativity, some resources, and some horsepower, but something we're thinking about as we go into this holiday season. I see so many great snippets coming up from the chat, and so many of our She-Boot champions who are with us today. I know my co-founder, Julia Elvidge, for She-Boot is with us, Erin Siegmiller, who is the program leader, Katie, of course, a key champion in that activity, I think Megan. We are going to be announcing the next cohort of She-Boot at the beginning of International Women's Week. So something very exciting, and a shout out to all of the investors, mentors, and champions who helped to make that happen. One of the many tangible ways we as a community are creating opportunity and investment for women founders and other women leaders in our community. Next slide, please. Initial events proposed to date. These are just some very, very initial ideas that have come forward. There are so many that we know exist in the community that's just here on this call today. Here's what we know for sure has been declared for the upcoming week. We, of course, look forward to hosting our launch event, the F Factor, enabling and accelerating women founders and women-owned firms on the first day of International Women's Week, the 1st. My friend Jennifer Francis, who could not be with us today, Julia Elvidge and Invest Ottawa will be hosting our Women Angel Investor Breakfast and Workshop with the Capital Angel Network, many investors across our community, our She-Boot champions, on Tuesday, March 2nd. Moving into the next slide. on Wednesday, March 3rd. And I know my dear friend Sophia Leong and dear friend Rima Aristocrat from University of Ottawa and Willis College, respectively, coming together and leading the Global Forum on Women in Cybersecurity. Extremely excited for that event. Massive, massive challenges in that technology field to elevate women in a very critical field for all of us in security going forward. And I think my friend Solange might be with us as well. Monday, March 8th, on the actual International Women's Day, Elevate International will host its national conference. We are so excited about these Anchor 4 events, but there are so many others. We had 65 last year. We are confident that as we are hosting this call today, there are those of you who are scribbling down and looking to put a stake in the ground around those specific opportunities that you would like to pursue, and we invite them. And there are so many opportunities to work together, lots under development. Next slide, please. Branding our collaboration. This is where I'm about to hand off to my dear friend and colleague and our co-pilot for International Women's Week. And I'm so proud of her and so grateful for all of her leadership and what she has invested in International Women's Week and our women-based programming. Katie Leclerc is going to take over one moment from now. Branding is really the entire experience we create with our stakeholders. So many people commonly associate it with a logo or an image or a tagline, and those are certainly important visual identifiers and identity builders, but really a brand is the entire experience. It's how we engage, how we add value, and how we achieve impact together. And every touch point along that journey, we want to make sure this is a very powerful experience for all of you, the women and the men who are coming together to build up women leaders in our community locally and nationally and globally. So it is underpinned by key attributes that guide our messaging, the visual imagery we create, and the action that defines that desired experience and helps us to achieve those outcomes. So you see some of the key attributes that we've really developed together as a community when pursuing this goal for women in leadership: strength, boldness, bravery, passion, drive, and action. Collaboration, of course, it's at the heart of everything we do, and success and impact. So as Katie now takes the reins and walks us through what's coming to you in terms of support from all those communications, branding, and opportunities for engagement, please keep in mind that those are the attributes that underpin all of those attributes in terms of the experience we will create together with you. Katie, over to you.
Awesome. Okay, so Jess, are you gonna, or I imagine you'll flip through for me as well. So if you could take it to the next slide, that'd be great. I'll wait for it to show up. Okay, thanks, Jess. And thank you, Sonia. I was joking actually earlier on this call, talk about Christmas present. My birthday happens to be on March 1st, and I always joke that International Women's Week is my birthday present. And I'm so happy to celebrate with all of you. Seeing everyone's messaging coming in is just getting me even that much more excited. And so to kick it off, for my portion of the presentation, I'm happy to talk about kind of how we're evolving the visual assets of the International Women's Week brand. So you'll see really we're just taking it to a new level. With that, we've introduced a monogram. We have, easy access for every single one of you to pull the International Women's Week monogram you see on the screen. You'll be able to add that to all of the assets that you're developing in-house, but not only that, you'll have access to our fonts. So we've picked these fonts. Sonia was talking to about the attributes. Also, we consulted our women-owned business subcommittee of the Invest Ottawa board, and we asked them to generate some key terms that really resonated with them and represented International Women's Week. That included empowering, aspirational, sustainable, barrier breaking, inspired, future focused, all of these amazing key terms, and we've tried to include that, incorporate that in where we want to take the visual look and feel of International Women's Week as well. We've built kind of what we've already done and received really good response from on the website last year. You'll remember that the calendar had these bold, powerful colors. We wanted to include those bold, powerful colors here this year and have them play a more prominent role in everything that we create for everyone to amplify the week. And that includes, you'll see at the bottom right there, you'll see the symbolism that we've introduced. Our fantastic digital team has come up with really cool assets to add to our visuals to just make them pop and make them that much more powerful. And our goal is to, as Sonia has already said, create a sense of belonging, a sense of inclusion. And these images are both some of the images that we have from last year's event and the individuals that were key faces of International Women's Week, but then also some stock images, and those are just the beginning of kind of where we want to pull from. So yeah, next slide, please. Okay, so soon, as many of you know, as many of our partners on the call are well aware, we have a really meaningful calendar of events. So right now, as we evolve, again, the visual assets as well as the web page, we are working away at that. And so you'll see that come through in January, but you'll be able to access that web page. It will be fully bilingual. We'll have all of the logos of our collaborators, and we'll have the opportunity for each one of you directly on that page to upload all of the amazing events, initiatives, and deadlines that you have in the works straight through that platform, and then you'll see them reflected on the web page. We'll of course have a review process just to make sure everything's in order, dates aren't missed, etc. And we're happy to manage that process. But do keep in mind, as you know, this is a labor of love, and we are all in this together. So if you see anything on the web page, or if you don't see your logo reflected, or you'd like to ask some questions about why the web page is set the way that it is, please just come to us. Again, there's so many partners and there's so much going on. We hope for your patience and your collaboration on that and making it the best that it can be. Our key messages, so they'll be displayed in there, and they will carry over from what we've already collectively developed in the last 2 years. But I will say that it will also support the messaging and the key messaging that comes from International Women's Day. This year, their hashtag is Choose to Challenge. I encourage everyone to visit that webpage. We'll share that with the group later, but they have meaningful messaging. As Sonia already said earlier, we're just building and having that more concentrated effort to focus on advancing women professionally here in our ecosystem, and then having greater impact that way. So it's just building on that work that's being done there. We will make available co-branded social media assets. So we want each one of our collaborators and everyone on the call to be able to make their assets their own while supporting the broader International Women's Week. That's again kind of some of the motivation behind going to the black and white with the pop of color. We want you to be able to choose a color that resonates with you and resonates with and maybe pairs well with your branding. So there will be flexibility there for you as well. And then Sonia had kind of touched on this too, but we really see this as us being able to have national and international reach, and have really our messaging go far beyond what it's even done in the past 2 years. So there's going to be lots of opportunities. There's going to be hopefully everyone will get behind sharing success stories, putting faces and people out there, having our local leaders amplified in all the amazing work and all the amazing initiatives that are already currently taking place. We will introduce our media strategy from Invest Ottawa's perspective, but also just encouraging everybody to share as much as possible. Next, Jess, thank you. Okay, so our goal just for promotional purposes, we just want everyone, as many people as possible, to really just encourage engagement from as many people as possible, all folks. And that just includes our collective power to be able to push that through whatever channels and reach you have. So we'll just make sure that we have that consistent messaging. We're consistently using the hashtags, and we really are reaching all target audience, which is really anyone who has an interest and a commitment to making a difference and advancing women leaders professionally. And so that's broad and audacious, and we can definitely do it collectively. We've already seen so much. It's just amazing. So our objectives, Sonia already touched on this, so I won't go over that again. But we're always revisiting our objectives, and we do that with everything we do, from the variety of events that we host to how we promote, who we promote, and what faces we put to the initiative. That's really what we're always keeping these 4 things in mind. And then, yeah, just like basic tactics that you can use is just consistently, we're going to stick with this, with the same hashtag that we have stayed with. We think it still resonates. It still supports the, choose to challenge hashtag too. So we're sticking with We Mean Business. And then paired with that, we'll of course have IWW 2021, and then encourage people to also use on the day of International Women's Day, IWD 2021. So our messaging just supports that. So we'll keep using that and stay, and we'll just see how much we can collectively keep that trend going. I think we could do it for all months leading up to the week, and then through all out the week. But I guess that's a big challenge. I think we can all take on. And then, yeah, and then the other big thing, we are really here to lift each other up. And so we will, of course, at Invest Ottawa be amplifying all of the events taking place and all of the initiatives and announceables. We want to know about them. We want to share them through our channels. And we have this really amazing email list that has gone beyond 500 people who want to stay up to date. And I can see that already growing and growing, who want to stay up to date with initiatives in Ottawa that are taking place. And so we will regularly be communicating there too. So anything that you have, any opportunity you have, we all encourage everybody to just amplify through the channels. Next. So we will provide, just so that everybody knows, as we did last year, we will be providing a promo kit that'll make it easy for everyone on the call to download, access the assets, and be able to amplify. That will be coming, as it says here, early January. Our goal is to get it out with the new branding, the new style, and then of course we'll keep adding to those assets as they're developed and as we get closer and closer to the deadline of International Women's Week coming up. That will come out, just so we are clear. We're going to have general promotion of the initiatives, and really that main call to action, which is go to the website, making sure that people are visiting the channel so they can see the whole full calendar, they can get the main messaging that we're all behind. So that will be a main call to action. And then of course we'll have the individual graphics, which you can co-brand, you can add your own logos, you can really make it clear that you're committed to this and that you're a part of International Women's Week. And then beyond that, you can add the details of your own events. So not that some will, of course, have your own graphics to promote your own events, but if you would like to use the general International Women's Week branding, it will be easy for you to do that too. So just keep that in mind. Those will be available for each and every one of you. And yeah, so beyond that, I think I've covered off everything. Again, encouraging to use the hashtags, visiting the website, the main call to action. Our main effort will be to drive for that general view into the week as a whole, or if we say a week, but it's already even beyond a week. So, so we know those initiatives that are taking place throughout March. We want to make sure that everyone, all of our audiences are driving to get visibility into really everything that's going on and taking place. Next. So here's a look into the feel and the direction that we're going. This is with us using the green and the yellow, as you saw earlier, and you'll be able to see at the end of the call, and you'll get access to that too. There's multiple colors to choose from. We, of course, at Invest.org are going to choose the green. That's our favorite color here. So this is just, again, a look into what we think is going to, or what will be available and what's to come. And we really think there's a fresh, really bold and strong feel to this. One thing to note, we will be featuring, again, amazing leaders in our ecosystem, and they will be the faces and the concentration on many of our assets. This just to share the black and white is to make sure that that those visuals are easy to add into all different graphics and to be included in all different places, so that different visuals that we receive, it's easy to develop into those brand assets with a consistent look and feel. So that's the direction we've gone. Hopefully people are liking it. I think I see a 10 out of 10, which I will.
lot of people loving it, and I'm
Yay.
so proud of our communications team. So
Oh, yeah.
Katie, Lindsay, Kelsey, Jess, I mean, it's just unbelievable. Megan, who's our new social media analyst, just amazing group, talented people.
Yeah, I'm incredibly lucky. We're both incredibly lucky, and it was really, International Women's Week is just the most exciting, prepping for that, and I could feel it from the entire team. They really want to make everyone on this call, everyone across the ecosystem, everyone generally, all women identifying individuals really proud with whatever they create, and so that's what we've really tried to do with this, and we'll continue to do as we tweak and make it even that much more exciting. So yay, I'm glad the response is great, and I'm loving it too. Gets me excited. Can we switch to the next slide, please? Thank you. So this is again the old previous look and feel, but you will see the same calls to action on our website. So we are encouraging everyone to host or co-host, collaborate, sponsor, support whatever is taking place across the ecosystem. This is an easy way for, again, you right on the website to just upload those details so that it gets straight to Sonia and myself and everyone involved on our team to just promote it on the website right away and make it available for everyone to register through that platform. So it's an easy just link submission process. If you have any issues, you can of course flag us right away, but it should be really smooth once we get that up and running. We are encouraging people to sign up for the mailing list. This is just a way, again, for us to keep up to date and keep that open, consistent communication. It's an easy way to do that, and as you know, our subscribers have grown so significantly, so rapidly. So it's really exciting that we can have one easy channel to get to them. And then, of course, just sharing our message. So we will make the social media kit available to whoever wants to amplify International Women's Week. So it'll be easy to download. Next slide, please. Awesome. We do really, so one of the other things, we are always looking, always seeking information. We think information, statistics, data, I attended on the 10th, I can't believe that was last week, time is flying, but last week I attended one of the WEC events, and there was some really powerful information coming out from them. There's constantly data that's being shared. There's just so much out there, and and we're just encouraging people to send us that information. We want to make that available to the community as well, and we want that to be a portion of the IWW webpage so that people do have access to the reality of what we're dealing with today, and we want to make that front and center. So just send that our way. Any resources, share. We want to share that as broadly and as loudly as we can. And then, of course, it's the mailing list. We're just keep pushing the mailing list, and we encourage anyone who's not on it. I'm sure most people on this call are, as that's probably why you registered, which is exciting. So that or Sonia's LinkedIn post. So so just make sure to keep sharing and encouraging people to do so. Next slide, please. Again, okay, so this is something new that we are introducing. So no one needs to race to answer right now, but we are considering, so as all of you know, Sonia has expressed just how much momentum International Women's Week has gained, and it's really powerful and really meaningful. But what we are realizing is that there are so many people who are involved and so many people who want to have an impact. We are just looking for ways to make communication that much easier. So to get assets to you, to get information to you, and then also for you to provide them to us, and then the general community. So one option, one thought that we had was introducing a Slack channel. This would also allow for different people on the call to share initiatives that they're running, and if they're seeking collaborators, or if they're offering their organization to get involved as well, if they're seeking opportunities to contribute, all of that exchange, as well easy access to documents and files. We are considering introducing a Slack channel. Everyone can think about that. We know how many channels you manage and how many tools you manage in a week, but or in a day, but this could be a solution that could be really helpful and could give us all one place to unite and to regularly communicate and just to keep up to date with what's going on. So consider that, but we'll be following up with a survey. And then we're just letting everybody know again, all of the assets and all the resources that will be available to you. So a bilingual webpage, a calendar, social media kit, promo opportunities through our channels and through everyone else's. And then we'll be updating you early January. We will have another webinar. We will be recording it. We'll make it as accessible as possible for everybody. So we'll be doing that all throughout the months leading up to International Women's Week, but the next will come in early January. And by then we'll have solidified some pieces that will really help you all have impact. Next slide. Oh, that's it. Look at that. So exciting.
Thank you, Katie, for all of your hard work.
Absolutely.
So much heavy lifting goes into this initiative, and it is all a huge labor of love, not just for us, but for so many on this call. And I'm so heartened, like what a wonderful way to start the day with all of this incredible feedback. Katie, when you start to scroll through all the comments, it's gonna just touch your heart. It's amazing, and we're very grateful for all of the commitment across the community, and so excited about the opportunities ahead. I addressed the one question that I saw from our friend Suzanne, and I just invite others if there's other questions, comments. Katie and I are here, and oh look, so many amazing people. Hi, Kathy. I mean, there's just some great participants with us today, and if there's questions you have, we are here to answer them now. Certainly, you all know how to reach Katie and I have done a call out that if you would like to join me on LinkedIn, certainly I promote extensively through my personal LinkedIn channel because that's really the only one that I'm any good at. But our team at Invest certainly leverages a whole host of social media tools and works collaboratively with so many of your communications teams. That is one thing I would say, is if your communications teams are getting on board, please make sure they're connected to the kit that we have. We will be looking for media opportunities as we go forward into 2021. We work closely with Syntax, another great woman-led and owned firm here in the region. Lots of opportunities to leverage our many talents together to raise the visibility of what we're doing and create that tangible opportunity for women leaders. Any way to volunteer? Do you know what, Patricia, there are so many amazing events and the Slack channel that Katie has, she proposed this was her idea, couldn't have come from me. I am not apprised of all of the many ways, right? And I'm going to be better at Slack. That is my commitment. I would say on the Slack channel, putting up opportunities. If you or others in your organizations or within your communities of interest would like to volunteer at a different event, you can see the calendar and you can make those exchanges happen very easily without middle people like Katie and I trying to broker. It will be an opportunity to raise your hand and say, I would love to volunteer. We do have many requests to volunteer going forward. A strategy to avoid competing events. So that's a great question, Marianne, and it's one that we've thought about very carefully. We try to help organizations architect around the week because there is so many organizations that want to host events. We do our best to try and help organizations find windows of time that target their unique stakeholders within their unique mandate so that at a minimum, there's not two competing events, and it's hard with general purpose ones that are really inspirational and can serve any type of individual from any walk of life. But really, we wanted to really create an event week that enables people to have many different events they can participate in that target different goals. We, meaning Katie and I, will do our best to steer that, but the response is so overwhelming that in 9 days with 65 partner organizations, it becomes very challenging to try and segment out almost very individually so that there is no overlap. But we do our best from breakfast meetings right through to evening events like the Global Women in Cybersecurity Forum to make sure that we are trying to distribute them to create as much opportunity and impact for possible as every partner. We also don't want to be prescriptive because this is really a community-led grassroots initiative. So we certainly don't want to be seen to be steering that, but collaborating with you to try and make it as impactful as possible. I hope that helps. Last year, we were overwhelmed with the response. And so all of a sudden, it just happens that certainly each day typically does have a calendar of events that in some cases there were 3 or 4. And International Women's Day, the 8th, the date that Elevate International will roll its national conference, we fully expect there will be many, many organizations that host both internal to their company or their team or their department, something that serves their employees. And we love that and want to promote and amplify that too. And others that will be looking to host something more for a broader community and a different mix of stakeholders, but we will do our best. just going to take a peek here. Safest to plan for online. Absolutely. So Naomi, you took the words right out of our deck, is that we know that even with the vaccines, and we're very grateful here at Invest Ottawa, certainly we're working closely with Vera Etches and her team at Ottawa Public Health to make sure that we are managing as an organization the best way possible to keep our employees and our stakeholders and clients safe. We are not planning any in-person events at a minimum until after next summer. And even after next summer, we anticipate that they will be hybrid. There's a beautiful opportunity to pull people together in person safely at the right time when our health authorities give us that green light, but also to create and build on all the incredible learnings that we've gained from this virtual world. It's hard to imagine there has been a silver lining through this tragic, difficult period for so many, but there is a lot of learning. And we can employ some amazing virtual technologies that build on what we might host together in any part of our Ottawa region to pull in other stakeholders to create an amplified impact. But yes, Naomi, absolutely, we're looking at. I'm just going to take a peek at the chat, trying to keep up. It's fast. It's like a fast moving.
It is fast. I love it.
Fast moving, rushing waters. Love the energy. Well, we love the energy of our whole community, and we couldn't be more excited or more passionate about this event and this week, this initiative, this driver for change. We're at 10:45. I'm so blown away. We had 50 people join us today, and that's amazing because we know that you are really those champions that are going to drive the change across our whole community, both locally and globally. Any final questions? We'll do one last call, and then we will give you all back a little bit of time in your day, and of course wish you a very safe, happy, and beautiful holiday season. We know this looks very different this year than any other we have been through. We hope that you will stay safe and cherish the time that you have and really rest and recuperate. We know it's been a very, very intense year for so many, and we know that full stop, given our role at Invest Ottawa, our collaboration with all of you, and the many different entrepreneurs and businesses we support. We thank you for all of your contributions and commitment, not just to this, but all year long to our community, and look forward to a very exciting 2021 together with you, and the best International Women's Week, the most impactful we have ever hosted yet. Yes. Katie, anything final to add, Katie?
I'm just trying to avoid cheerleading in the background. Excited. Thank you all. Yeah, it means so much.
Watch for the recording. We will share it. It will be out on my LinkedIn the minute Jess gives me that link, and we will share, and we will look forward to hearing from you and getting your events in the calendar. So much more to come. Thank you very much, everyone. Happy holidays.